What's going on, guys? 5869 with another replay analysis. This time we're up to number 43. We're going to be going over the anti-mage here who sent in this game. He says, he had a really good early game. His supports really helped him out a lot, but after that, unfortunately, he really couldn't do much. He felt like he had a good early game, but couldn't convert it into a win. I believe it was around like 1.8k or something. I don't have the post up, unfortunately, so I'm sorry if I'm highly just like undercutting your MMR, but I think it was somewhere around that. I think it was 1 point something for sure. But anyways, we'll just go over a couple things that I have talked about in pretty well all of my other videos, but I am going to start reiterating again since I'm starting this series. So the first thing is that usually when you have this bit of time at the beginning of the game, you have 30 seconds left still, and I mean before the game actually starts, you kind of want to start thinking, alright, you want to look at their heroes and kind of think about how the game's going to go, what items you're going to want to build, and how you're going to have to play the game. So if I'm the Saint Mage right now, whether or not I'm at 1.8k, I'm just going to assume my opponents are good players and they'll understand a few things in terms of itemization and stuff like that. So the first thing is that I see that they have a lot of mid game, a lot of late game. They have pretty well just a ton of carries here. Again, it is around like the 1.8k. So compared to my team, they have technically the better late game because at this level, people sometimes have issues pushing into the enemy team or converting an early game, which we do see here, and then you make it to late game with a Spectre, a Jug, an Ursa, who's not really a late game hero, but he still has damage potential, and an Alchemist. It's going to get scary no matter what, right? Especially if you've got two supports like a Witch Doctor and an Ancient Apparition. They're not going to be as useful. Sure, their ultimates are still great, and I'm not saying supports aren't good, but I'm just saying against the 4 carry lineup that usually happens around this level, it gets very difficult. So there's maybe a couple things to help you out as an anti-mage. What I'm looking at here is, okay, I'm going to need a fairly mid-late game oriented build in order to really make the most out of the fact that I'm an anti-mage, and Ursa will probably eat me alive, but if I itemize properly, I can try to deal with that. So the items I'm going to most likely be looking at here are going to be obviously Tread's Battle Fury. From there, I think I'm not that afraid of a gank, so I think you can get greedy and just go for like Yasha into Vlad's. You don't really have to finish the Manta or anything, or you could just go straight Vlad's as well, which is still great for farming. Either one of those, but you want Vlad's, you want Manta, and then from there you probably want BKB Abyssal. There are other great items, like you can go Heart or Butterfly, whatever you want. I think BKB Abyssal in this sense is going to be the best in my opinion. I think it'll really help out locking down at least one of these cores. You're not meant to fight all of them, but you can at least lock down one of them, especially the Alchemist. If you can blink BKB and Abyssal him before he can get that Chemical Rage, you'll easily be able to burst him, especially with your Manta illusions. And then outside of that, you just kind of have to work the fights properly, and you have a Terrorblade who's not the greatest hero as of right now. Who knows, 6.86 is coming out soon, so this could be a wrong statement then, but as of right now, he seems pretty underwhelming. I think your team's going to have to do a lot of split pushing, and hopefully we'll go over how you can do that in this game. So I'm just going to unpause it here. We are going to watch it from your perspective and switch around a little bit. Keep up the last hits, and I'll start to speed things up here while I take a sip of my coffee, since it is kind of early there. Good job. So you click on the Alchemist, which is great. There's a lot of players that already don't do that, so I hope you don't stop that. Clicking on the enemy heroes and seeing what they have. I think this Ursa might take the Bounty Rune, in which case that would be absolutely hilarious. I could check, but I'm not going to. Alright, so Ursa does get it. Okay, so that's actually really funny because now the Alchemist has no items and he didn't get the Bounty Rune. He's going to be pretty sad about that. Alright, and your itemization's alright. I think Stout Shield is fairly good. There's going to be hopefully not a Coddle in your lane. You don't want to deal with that ranged harass, and some nice blocking going on there. So you got a Spectre, you got an Ursa. You got to be careful of the Ursa. Stout Shield's not going to help too much against him, just because after 1 or 2 right clicks, he's going to be hitting you so hard. And you want to be getting a Quelling Blade as soon as possible. So right now you've got enough for the Quelling Blade. You really want to grab that ASAP so you can really contest CS, especially against a 2 melee lane. You want to be doing that. As Witch Doctor taking a couple hits, already at like half HP. Excuse me. Alright, so you get Poor Man's Shield. I understand that. It does give you some more damage as well. A little bit of damage block. The reason why I would disagree with that right now is because you're in a tri-lane, so you do have two supports that are going to help just kind of harass the enemy off-laners, I guess, and because of that, they're not going to be up in your face hitting you that often. Poor Man's Shield, sure, it does give you a little bit more damage and stuff like that, but realistically, Quelling Blade would really help you. You're going to need it for Battle Fury eventually, so it's not like it's an inefficient item to grab. And, you know, later on it'll help you jungle a little bit more efficiently if you need to dip into the jungle. So, yeah, I do think that's important to grab. One thing I'm not going to point out is just general, like, lane equilibrium and CSing and stuff like that. I think as time goes on, you'll just generally get better at CSing and controlling your lane, stuff like that, understanding how it should be. So I'm not going to say, oh, you missed that last hit, you missed that deny, because those are pretty small things, especially at this level. One thing I will point out, though, is scaling. So you go for Mana Shield, or Spell Shield, whatever you want to call it. And there's no real reason, right? So you go for Spell Shield. Really, the only magical damage is either the Ursa gets his Q off, the Earth Shock, or the Spectre throws out the Spectral Dagger, which, given is fair damage, early on it's not that great. You have a Salve and Tangos anyway, so it wouldn't be that big of a deal for you to burn through that regen. And wow, Reborn is really bad at slowing down replays now. Holy jeez. But you don't need the Spell Shield, right? It's not helping you all that much. I think the Mana Break is very important, especially in this kind of dual lane scenario with heroes who have shallow mana pools, just because it allows you to harass them alongside your supports, right? So you blink up, you hit them a couple times with Mana Break, and it doesn't just burn mana, it converts it to damage as well, right? So you do quite a bit of damage. And I think a lot of people really underestimate that, so if you end up hitting that Ursa, which you don't, you could have done quite a bit more. You almost have your boots. Gonna need to grab those. Try to push out the wave a little bit. And also, Mana Break also helps your CS in general. So yeah, you do get a kill there. It could have been all the much more easier. Do get a nice double kill there. Oh, Coddle Blast. Alright, so that was butt clenching. Okay, so it's not all that bad. You look like you're a little bit unsure. There you go. Brown Boots, Quelling Blade, TP. Yeah, not that bad. If you want to be really greedy in your supports, we'll do it. I would maybe ask one of them to buy a TP for you. I think you just bought an Observer Ward there. So I'm actually alright with that. I think people don't do that enough. So actually, really, no matter how this game goes, like, already props to you, man, for doing that, because that's pretty huge. Not enough people do that, I think, buying Observer Wards to help secure their lane. Excuse me. And yeah, so I think that's really nice for sure. I think that's great that you did that. It'll just give you a little bit more vision to see if anybody's ganking you. Right now you see the Ursa as well as the Spectre on the outside there, and you can feel a little bit safer. So Coddle does rotate bottom, and yeah, this is going to be a little bit annoying in all honesty. Oh. But you just kind of have to be aware that the Coddle is there. Hope that your Mirana is getting a little bit more, or at least shutting down a little bit more, because the Coddle is there. But you just kind of have to be aware of, okay, I could eat a Coddle Blast now. He's most likely going to try and hit the creeps as well as hit you at the same time. So that's when you want to be careful. You can hear him charging it up. Probably could have dodged that one. But that's, you know, not a big deal. Yet again, got to be a little bit careful. You do get a nice kill there. Ursa's starting to get a little bit scary. He's now got phase boots, and this is when you probably start falling a little bit behind now, because the Ursa can pressure you fairly well. The Keeper of the Light's going to be able to just keep hitting you with the Illuminate, so you have to be really aware of that Illuminate, because you want to be able to CS a ton. Looks like you're trying to get your Ring of Health. You do get it, and now your lane's a little bit easier. Alright, so here's a big mistake that a lot of players make. It looks like you're going to rush the Battle Fury, and although it seems like that may be the right move, it's actually not. you want to be able to get the treads early on because it helps your laning so much. It gives you a ton more damage, attack speed. Of course, tread switching, you don't have to do it yet this early on. But treads in general just give you a lot more jungle potential. So basically what you want to be doing is you want to grab that ring of health. I think it's ring of health. Yeah, you want to grab that ring of health. And then right after, you want to pick up your full treads and just push out the lane as much as you can. Not auto attack, but push it out faster instead of just waiting for the last hits. Kind of push it out a little bit more. Blink into the jungle, secure a little bit of CS in the jungle, and then jump back into the lane. That's how you want to be super efficient as the AM. Just because treads give you the option to do so. And even, even if you don't do that, you buy the treads early on, you leave them on strength, and this coddle can't be as annoying to you. So keep that in mind. You are going the stats build. You do have 2 points in the stats, I believe, here as well. So just on top of that, treads, you have a ton of stats with that stats build as well, which just means that it's so efficient for you to jungle early on. And there's really no reason to just rush the Battle Fury. It's not as great as some people would think. You think, oh, I got like a 10-minute, whatever, maybe not 10 minute. I got a 13-minute Battle Fury instead of a 15-minute Battle Fury with treads first. It seems like it would be good, but you don't really have that much damage or attack speed. And the treads really help, believe it or not, with the sustain. So you're jungling right now. If you would have, a little bit more like a Glove of Haste or something, or a Belt of Strength for your treads, you'd be able to do that much more. Just something to keep in mind. But I'll start speeding through. I think I've probably talked enough about the laning stage. Just get mana break there, and not really much you can do. Mana burn, excuse me. TP to the mid lane. Ooh, yeah, you gotta be careful. Ursa's gonna do Ursa things. You do go down. Gotta be really careful against an Ursa. Because, yeah, he's just gonna turn around like that. And now your early game is gone really poor. It's 11 minutes in. You don't have treads yet. You can't afford to die again. You should consider just sacking the bot lane and going to a different lane because it's starting to get really rough. As the Ursa's just eating everybody alive right now. And yeah, so now the Ursa's got a mega kill. Everything's starting to go kind of bad. You guys probably don't really know what's going on, but this is when it is difficult to kind of go over games like this, because I want to say, ask your Mirana to rotate, do this, but sometimes, players won't really do anything about it. You really want to try to... in this situation, if this ever happens again, which I'm sure it will, whether it's anti-mage or anybody, you really want to get your treads as fast as possible, and then if you have to, move into the jungle. It seems really weird, but even like the safer jungle for you, which is like, like these two camps are pretty safe for you. Ursa's now doing Roche. She's just about to get it, but you may have to move into the jungle or something like that, but you really want to push your treads out as fast as possible because they're going to be the item that's going to help you the most here. So just something to keep in mind there in case you ever do kind of find yourself in this situation again. Again, you buy yourself a ward, you see the Ursa, and you dip out. So great play there. Ursa's still around, you should be careful. You guys do manage to get the Aegis, but I would still be very weary about what's going to go on right now. So 3 heroes dead across the board. That's nice. So yeah, you're in the jungle. Looks like you do actually decide to go for your treads here. Or did you just buy... you went with the Perseverance. Alright, I lied. So there you go. You're jungling again. Perseverance does give you some nice regen in order to jungle. And now you found some CS mid. This is good. Alchemist's going to make it really annoying for you. But he'll at least push the lane, which is nice of him. You do get a full creep wave there. Nice. So your team's starting to do good work. You're getting some good space, which means you're also able to push, or you're also able to jump back to the mid lane and secure some CS here. And there you go, 18 minutes. Preferably you'd want your treads and your Battle Fury by around the 20-minute mark. Even at this level, I think that's fairly reasonable. I think you could probably do it. Usually people have like treads, Battle Fury, Vlads by the 20-minute mark, and I'm not saying that like to get you down or anything, but just if you want like a general timing. If you're doing really well, You want Treads, Battle Fury, Vlad's by like 20 minutes. If you're not doing well, which of course you had a poor early game, you want just, you know, Treads, Battle Fury by 20 minutes is still pretty reasonable. But you're still CSing fairly well. You have 90 CS. I mean, the Juggernaut has 93, and I feel like he hasn't really been touched this game. I also haven't really been paying attention, but something to keep in mind. This Ursa going for another Roshan. You guys prevent it. That's great. Get a nice little fight there. You're CSing well. You've got your Treads now. Rosh goes towards this Terrorblade, and this is great now. You guys are doing good. CSing fairly well now. You're jumping in and out of the lane. You're pressuring like crazy. This is actually a really great play, honestly. Bot lane, there's a ton of CS that you probably could have grabbed. Unfortunately, you don't have a TP. As anti-mage, you always want to have 2 TPs on you. You can get away with always having 1, but I really think always having 2 is the best, just because you're TPing around so much in order to get literally like all of the farm. You want to be playing hyper aggressive, and there you go. The Ursa's going to jump on you. You probably should just leave him alone, as he's probably just going to like 2-hit you. Yeah, I'd just keep running for sure. You get the Haunt. That doesn't do all that much. The Cask is actually doing so much work. Oh my gosh. Alchemist wants you, but you're good to get out. I would just leave this fight right now. Jump home. Because right now, you're not really doing all that much. I wish I could have checked the team fight recap before. Can I get a recap, or is it going to wait for that kill to... Okay, so here's the fight recap. You got a nice 456 gold. I think a majority of that was from the first kill. Yeah, like 341 gold of that was from the first kill. So after that, they were going to get the kills no matter what, if you were there or not. So you could have just left, gone home. If you would have just TP'd home, or walked home, TP'd out to either the mid lane or the top lane, and then you push out there, you take the enemy's jungle, that would have been way, way more efficient. And efficiency really, really matters when you're a hero like Anti-Mage. So you guys are doing well. You're coming back. The only thing is, now you've bought a lot of wards in the early game, and I wouldn't give that up just yet. I think as an Anti-Mage right now, at least, which hopefully this doesn't change too much, I realize now that doing a replay analysis right before 6.86 is probably not a great idea, but if this was me and I was this far ahead and I didn't really have too many wards where I wanted them, which, do you have any wards in stock in general? You've got 3 in stock, actually, which is really good. So this is an incredibly safe ward. This ward I'm alright with, since they're going to try to invade your jungle a lot, but I would probably buy a ward, maybe 2. I would put at least 1 up here. The other one I would probably put right here, just because as Anti-Mage, it's so important to stay on your opponent's side of the map, and it sounds really, really stupid, and you're probably like, what the hell, that doesn't really make sense, even though you're there right now. Maybe you do understand that, but you want to be on your opponent's side of the map as much as possible. You want to take their jungle, not allow them to use their jungle, and then jump back into the wave, keep the waves pushed out, cut the creep waves if need be. So like right now, if they're pushing mid lane, you know, you probably take the medium camp or whatever, and then you jump back towards the mid lane and cut it if they're trying to push your mid tower. Basically, you just want to be on the opponent's side of the map as much as possible, because you get so much information out of the opponent's side of the map right now. So they aren't really sure where everybody is, but there's a lot of information that you can gather from this right now. So at the very lowest skill level, the information that you get from the enemy jungle is, okay, I'm in their jungle, or I was just in their jungle. Nobody was there. We see that there's a couple bottom lane. You see 3 bottom lane. Juggernaut you might not see yet, but you feel fairly comfortable. The only person that could jump on you is the Ursa. If he gets a first hit bash, you'll die. Most likely. You might still survive that if you're on strength treads, I believe. But that's not that scary for you. You're more afraid of the mana leak and then the Ursa chasing you down, I think, than anything. Than you are, you know, the RNG of a first hit bash. But you know there's like a big fight going on, and you've got a lot of space to push right now. So that's pretty good. But if that wasn't happening, you're in the enemy jungle. If this fight's not going on, you can say, okay guys, I'm in their jungle. Nobody's there. Nobody's defending top tower yet. And maybe they just avoid this fight bottom and they don't lose what looks to be 3 heroes. Yeah, should just be 3 heroes. So you guys don't lose 3 heroes. You probably pressure them a little bit before leaving, since they're most likely going to rotate to kill you. But There it is. Finally, the Alchemist rotating top. But that's what's important, right? So you're in their jungle. You see, okay, nobody's in their jungle yet. You guys should be careful. Don't take this fight because, you know, I'm not going to be there. It's potentially a 5v4. Even if it's a 4v4, they have heroes that are better at fighting in general unless you guys have an Aegis. So that's kind of something you want to keep in mind. So you were in their jungle, but if you didn't really talk to your team and say, hey guys, there's nobody in their jungle, be careful. You probably could have. You go down there. And that was kind of fairly greedy because you just saw your entire team die. You see nobody bottom, nobody mid. When I know it's kind of heat of the moment. You don't look at the map, but you know you could have seen nobody in the mid lane, nobody in the bot lane pushing them, and you could have said, all right, there's probably everybody coming top lane. So that was a kill you didn't have to give up. You buy the recipe. Shouldn't have done that. Should have just waited till you got to a secret shop to buy the ultimate orb and then flown it out to you. I think in general you probably want the Vlads first. But you go for that kill, use your ulti, a little bit of a wasted ulti there. Now you're going for Basher, so I think Vlad's is pretty core on AM. It just helps your sustain so much. It gives you so much damage, 15% bonus damage, gives you 5 armor, the life steal, you know, the little bit more mana regen, which allows you to just jungle so much more efficiently, blinking around and stuff like that. So I really do think that Vlad's is like 100% core here. You go for the play on Ursa, which if he was paying attention, he knows which way you blinked, although I don't think he does. Doesn't matter, you got a TP anyway. So you do TP home, but if you had the Vlads, you could easily TP top and continue pushing. And that's why that item is so core on anti-mage, because you always want to be out on the map. You never want to be going home. You need to be as efficient as possible. So now you're back into your jungle, which you shouldn't be. At this point, you guys are ahead. You have to keep that lead, which means you have to continue to pressure lanes. You need to go top. You need to be pushing mid. You're just in the jungle, which, although it may seem efficient, it's really not. Right now, if you're top, your team can 110% get Roche without you. They've got, sure, the Ursa's nearby. They probably don't know you guys are Roshing. If they do, it's not like they can do much about it. And look at that, Juggernaut's TPing top. They could have done that without you. You don't really need the Aegis that bad. Your Terrorblade needs it way more, in my opinion. He's going to be the one just running up and fighting a lot. So here you go. You guys get that tower. You're running away. You're going top lane to push now. And if you've got the Aegis now, you'd want a 5-man. Again, you guys have such a lead right now. Like, if we take a look at this net worth. Boom, 7,500 EXP, upwards of 12,000, which is absolutely massive. You have heroes that are great with levels. This guy is Shadow Blade, Aghanim Scepter, and this is what I mean. This is it. If you want to pinpoint the exact issue, it's the fact that whether or not it's your fault, which it probably isn't, but you need to just like grab your team and say, guys, we have the Aegis. Witch Doctor, you've got your Aghanim Scepter, AA, you've got your Halberd. This guy has his S and Y. Doesn't have his BKB. You could wait for the BKB, I guess. I probably wouldn't. You just say, guys, look at this. Morana has freaking S and Y Daedalus Lincoln Sphere. You guys should be 5-manning because there's no way they stop you. They have very little D-push aside from the Coddle, which you could probably just blink on and blow up this Coddle immediately. You just blink on the Coddle, probably kill him, and then their D-push is literally like acid spray, that's it. Terrorblade gets picked off because he's all alone. Everybody's spread out around the map. You're jungling, you're not even helping to push top. This is 110% why people lose pubs. It's because they get a lead like this, and then they just farm. They just farm the enemy jungle. They don't even farm properly. If you're you know, pushing all 3 lanes at once, and then greeting somewhere, or meeting somewhere, and pushing that singular lane, then sure, that's good. But that's not what's happening. You're in the jungle. Ancient Apparition is in your jungle as well. There's like a Juggernaut there. You get your Basher. You have a double damage haste right now. Everybody on this map should be dead. But again, you go back jungling, and this is like 100%. This is like the exact moment I feel that you guys are losing, because you have this massive farm lead that's starting to drop EXP as well, thanks to that kill, and also because you guys are giving them so much space. The Ursa's in your jungle. You guys should be able to catch him out and kill him. But, you know, he's making quite a bit of space. This dude just Omni Slashes a bunch of illusions. Does quite a bit of damage, but he's probably going to die. There's the Bash, and if you guys don't go down mid now, I will be very confused. So there you go. You got 4 dead. You guys should be able to push this. There's the Haunt. The Aegis is down, but they have to buy back. You guys should be able to get racks. That's unfortunate. Very unfortunate. Witch Doctor hasn't used his mana properly. I think he had his heal on the entire time. Now he doesn't have ultimate. That's not your fault, but if that push would have been sooner, maybe you don't have to worry about that AAL or that. Why did you guys take so much damage there? I think you guys just took damage, but realistically, you should have just pushed with that Aegis immediately. This guy probably doesn't die a little bit earlier on. Maybe they don't get one more item on his kill. Mirana's going to go down, and this is probably when it starts going downhill for you guys. You find the Jug in the jungle, you blink into the Ursa, and that's that. You get your Vlads, so you do go for Vlads. You understand it's a good item, but you should have gone for it a little bit earlier. This guy just wastes Death Ward, and now everybody's starting to feed one by one. If you didn't really notice this at the start, which, I mean, I didn't really point out at the start of the analysis either, they have great heroes for skirmishing, right? So they have an Ursa, a Juggernaut, an Alchemist, and a Spectre. So they can easily find pickoffs with one hero and then the Spectre Haunt or something like that. The Ursa can easily solo kill somebody. Juggernaut as well if he's got Omni Slash up. So you guys really need to 5-man and stay together. You've got a Terrorblade who's actually really good at 5-manning now, thanks to Reflection. If they 5-man you, you just make 5 reflections and they deal so much damage. You know, you've got the Witch Doctor, the Ancient Apparition. That's what you guys are better at. They're not that great at the 5-man. They can easily just get kited around. You're an anti-mage, just blink around, you bash a couple heroes, yada yada yada. But yeah, you definitely could have done a little bit better there. I'm not trying to pay attention to this Terrorblade, I'm trying to pay attention to you. So you're looking in their jungle again. Now this Caudal has Aghanim Scepter, and pushing in is going to be so hard for you. You guys are fighting, like, split up as you're trying to split push. That's maybe their fault, but sometimes, like, not sometimes, a lot of the time when you play with randoms, you have to be the one that's paying attention to them. You have to babysit them, hold their hand, and say, oh shit, they're pushing mid. I need to go mid right now. I have to help them push mid, or I have to tell them to get the hell out, which is what you should have told them. And now if we look at this graph, net worth, you guys were so far ahead. You were at like 14k, and now you're about to lose the entire thing. You're going for Roshan. You do some nice move commanding with your yeah, right, well, it's gonna be that. You should have just, what? Yeah, you should have just left and who got it? I don't even know what's happening in this game now. Alright, so now you're looking to push. They fortify, you do get the racks, you're pinging out bottom. Really hard for you guys to go through backdoor regen. Now you jump back. You should be pushing the creep wave as hard as possible, because this team, you just want to pressure non-stop. You TP bottom, probably could have just kept pressuring top in all honesty. They're mid, and if you were pressuring top, let's do a quick TP check. Ursa, no TP. Spectre, no TP. She's got Haunt. Alchemist, where is he? He's top lane, I guess, but you could most likely solo kill him at this point. He's got like Radiance, AC, MKB. You have Abyssal Blade. Yeah, you can easily solo him with your Manta. That would have been a huge solo kill as well. And they don't have TPs to jump back and fight you. You probably could have had a Rax there. And now you're going top again. Caudal Blast, good ability. And you blink into like 4 cores. This is when it gets probably really scary for you. You're running away. You're invis still. You still think you can fight, but you really should not be fighting. This Caudal has an egg, so he's got a huge mischance, and they've got a lot to be able to kill you. So there's a triple kill. You guys got a ton, but you're giving up even more. This graph is like so back and forth. EXP is almost even out. Net worth is getting there. Mirana gets a couple of kills. This is honestly one of the jankiest games I think I've ever witnessed. Again, I think you go for Butterfly. I definitely think that BKB is core here. The Caudal has Aghanim Scepter, so he's always going to have Blinding Light. On top of that, you've got the double Radiance here, so that burn is going to be really annoying. Either that or you go for an MKB. I think BKB is probably the better option, just because it'll help prevent that Radiance burn damage over time, which may seem like it's not that much. It is, as well as the Caudal Blast, the Caudal Mischance, all that fun stuff. I think it's really important for you to deal with. So you're pushing bot again, your team's mid, and you jump in to help. You do help out quite a bit. You go down yet again though. The Alchemist is there, and now this Alchemist is kind of getting out of control most likely. If we take a look, yeah, there you go. You guys are just getting rid of your huge lead, and they might just end it here. One thing you always have to be very aware of is you buy the Eagle Song, but I don't really necessarily think Eagle Song is that important here. I think you have enough damage to get the kills. You just have to be smart about how you fight here. And Eagle Song isn't really that necessary. I can't believe they just lost the top racks there. That's absolutely massive. But if you would have had buyback instead of that, you could have defended the racks, and they probably would have lost top. Because you defend the racks, you get 1 or 2 kills on top of that, and they probably just lose the game. You guys have another Roshan, and I have no idea what's happening right now. You get a nice kill there. Did you guys take Rosh? Okay, yeah, Terrorblade's got the Aegis. This guy goes in, and... Huh. So, you guys got pretty greedy there. Let's actually watch that again. I think you guys just really wanted to end it. You're getting scared. They got a Rax, but like, you have no Mirana. You have no Witch Doctor, who's actually kind of important. I don't know how he just died. You have no ALT with Aghanim Scepter or Heaven's Halberd. And you guys are going in against 2 buybacks. See, and this is where buybacks are important. You see just how strong they actually are. This guy's just going to ult you, I think, and he's got a lot of damage now. So there you go. I think that's just the end of the game there. Another mistake. You guys just get a little bit... So, at first you had the Aegis, you didn't push the lead. Then you get the Aegis, and you just go way too ham. You have buyback. Nobody else does. This could have been a much more delayed push because maybe they don't have your racks yet. You guys are losing bot racks. You just go in on this guy. But, again, your team's not really with you, and it's an Ursa, so you almost die there. And now they have Megas, and I really don't think you guys could have come... or can come back from this, in all honesty. I think it's just way too hard. You try to push down mid, but Megas are just so freaking strong, and they might just end the game for you. They've got buybacks yet again, and this just shows how important buybacks are now. You guys are going for the Ancient. Oh my god, you guys get it. Alright, that was some shit right there. Shouldn't have been that close. Just remember a couple things, most importantly. Of course, always try to work on your last hitting. I said I wasn't going to bring that up, but bring it up at the very end. Always work on it. Could have been a little bit better. Generally, you want 10 last hits per minute. So if it's a 40-minute game, you want 400 last hits. You have 436 last hits in a 60-minute game. So you should have had upwards of 600 plus. I'm not going to come down on you, though. That's good farming efficiency. I'm just saying if you want like a line to go on, you want about 10 last hits per minute. So you still did well. Early game, get those treads up as soon as possible after the Ring of Health. Move into the jungle if you have to. Push when you have, 5 heroes alive with an Aegis. You want to make the most out of what you've got. So, you guys got that Aegis. You didn't really push. By the time you pushed, everybody was split up and the Terrorblade had died. It was just really an awkward push altogether. Outside of that, you guys got a little bit too aggressive. Keep an eye on buybacks. Once you hit that 40-minute mark, buyback is very, very important, especially at lower level games. You saw that their buybacks almost lost you guys the game. It came very, very close to you guys losing that one. They bought back, ended up killing you guys, and then they push and get mega creeps. Very, very, very close. You played well. I'm not trying to come down on you. You played really well for being the MMR that I think you said you were. I think it was like 1.8k. If not, I'm sorry. Either way, you did play well this game, nevertheless. I'd probably get the Vlads right after Battle Fury or right after Yasha. There's no need to finish the Manta. Yasha is still an efficient farming item. It allows you to just move around all that much faster. You do have Blink Dagger though, not Blink Dagger. You do have a Blink ability, so you don't need Yasha that bad. But it will help you a little bit there. So you do want to get that Vlad's a little bit early on. Manta's not that scary unless they have Global Silence or an Orchid. I think those are really the only two things you would want to get an early Manta for. Any type of silence, basically. You would want to get a Manta for, since you can just get rid of that debuff with the Manta style. So just a little bit of work on the itemization, a little bit of work on decision making. Again, remember, sometimes you got to hold people's hands. Try to stay in the enemy side of the map if you can, and then relay whatever information you have. Guys, there's nobody in their jungle. Be careful. Maybe you wouldn't have lost 4 heroes. You could have ended the game sooner. Just stuff like that. So thanks for sending in the replay, buddy. I'm glad you decided to. It was your first one. Hopefully you did get a little bit out of this, and remember, in those first 30 seconds, look at the enemy heroes, decide how you want to scale your abilities, how you want to get your items. That was another thing. You got that mana shield early on, didn't really need it. Could have traded more efficiently if you got the mana break early on as well. So just keep those things in mind, and you played well, and you're going to continue to get better, man. So hopefully you do get better, and again, thanks for sending in the replay. Hey everyone, thanks for checking out the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to check out some of my other videos. I have my series from lane to lane where I just cast some everyday pubs that you guys send me. I also do some more professional pubs like games from Koikva, Miracle, whoever I can get my hands on from Dodo Buff. I have a learning series as well, so feel free to check that out. There's some more info in the description as well as some videos linked in the annotations at the end here. Thanks a lot.